What happened, TT? You know what the hell happened. That's your godfather, girl. Stop it. You know he done got in his mood and cussed that man the fuck out.
Hello, black hole. See this brother win, man. Hey, dude, what is your win, babe? What is your win, too?
Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. And if you are not already a part of our book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Deliver Us from Temptation, the tragic and shocking story of the Temptations in Motown by Tony Turner, who we lovingly call TT. So look, y'all, before we get started, my puppy is in my lap. He's being very clingy today. I don't know what to say. Okay, so if you hear some grunts, some snorts, it's just my puppy. Some of y'all, or a few of y'all, had said that it's distracting. I don't know what to tell you. He's still a puppy. It's going to be a while before, he gets out of the puppy stage where he don't want to be up under me all the time. So my apologies in advance. During the break between shows, we had received a message that Frank Sinatra, who was doing a concert in town, wanted to meet the Temptations. It was all set. Eddie, David, and Dennis could do their second show, rush off the stage, change, and rush across town to catch the end of Sinatra's sellout show. As soon as I heard about this, my brain started clicking. I thought this opportunity was just too good to be true. Even if Frank Sinatra only wanted to shake their hands, at least it was a great photo opportunity. I asked Charles to get the car out of the garage in case any of the others wanted to go along. That's what the young people call clout chasing. The second show was over and everybody was rushing like crazy to change out of their stage clothes and get downstairs to leave when out of the blue, Eddie, who was in one of his strange moods, decided, fuck Sinatra. I'm not rushing to see no Frank Sinatra. He was tripping on that. Matter of fact, y'all, let me tell you a quick story about Frank Sinatra. You know how every year they have this thing called the Kennedy Center Honors that is, I think it's broadcasted on CBS, if I'm using the right words. My sister and I were chosen to sing with Perry Como for that particular event. Oh, we met everybody. We met so many people. We met Baryshnikov. We met, of course, Perry Como, Frank Sinatra, Debbie Allen. We met so many celebrities that night, right? So when they were honoring the Frank Sinatra, we were there for the event because we sang If You're Young at Heart with Perry Como on stage. It was an honor for us. I forgot completely about it. And then my sister, she didn't remember it at all. So what I did for her was found it on YouTube. And you can see it there. It's a very young NayRob. I was like 13. If I'm 13, my sister's probably like 6. What's the problem, baby? Mommy talking too much? What's wrong with Eddie? David wanted to know. By this time, he was dressed to the nines, on full alert, and all set to go. Come on, David. I told him, just you, me, and the background singers go. But now he was disgusted, and he just said, fuck it. We all should be together. I don't understand why Eddie and Dennis don't want to go. Dennis didn't want to go, if I didn't already say it, because whatever Eddie do, Dennis do. Frank Sinatra, Old Blue Eyes, wants to meet the former lead singers of the Temptations. There's 3 of y'all. and then only one going to show up. It's like almost like a spit in his face. And if I was David, I wouldn't want to have to explain to Blue Eyes the bullshit surrounding them no showing. I wondered what Eddie's reasoning could be. It certainly couldn't be the same excuse he had used when he, David, and Dennis were invited to join in a tribute to Billy Joel at the Grammy Award ceremony. David and Dennis attended, but Eddie flatly refused, saying, "They're paying us effing peanuts, and I'm not using my name to prop up another white boy." I don't know about that. If I was David, because you know David will give you the ninja at any point, even when you don't deserve it. If I was David, I would be like, ugh, you acting like an old bitch ass nigga right now. Ugh. And it's Billy Joel, y'all. Side note, I used to love Billy Joel. When he was dating or married to Christy Brinkley, you know, my theme song is Uptown Girl. You know you're living in your uptown world. That's my theme song in my mind. Okay, in my mind, he wrote that for me. Somebody need to put a go-go beat on top of that or underneath of it. Yeah, that'd be hot. So the whole meeting was blown, and we never got to meet the great Frank Sinatra. The next morning, Super Bowl Sunday, I went down to the hotel to meet the guys. The band had left Tampa early this morning since they would not be needed for a lip-synced show. I took the escalator up to the lobby level where I found Butch pacing the floor like a caged animal. Oh, hi. How are you doing? How do you fucking stand him? Who? TT, you knew that nigga was talking about Davey Ruffin, your so-called godfather. I own a limousine company, and I'm down here doing him a favor. I don't need his fucking bullshit. Pause. First of all, I don't believe that you doing him a favor. How you doing him a favor when you sleeping in the big bed? He around there sleeping on the couch. I own a limousine company, and I'm down here doing him a favor. I don't need his fucking bullshit. He was very irate. I got him to sit down. What happened, TT? You know what the hell happened. That's your godfather, girl. Stop it. You know he done got in his mood and cussed that man the fuck out. That mother hunchy threw me out. He threw me out last night, and I had to sleep in the hallway after all I did for him. That effing bastard threw me out as good as I've been to him. He won't let me in to take a shower or change or nothing. All the money I've given to him. I lent him my limos. I've saved his ass in Philly. I've been a good friend. He gets me out here on the road and he wants to pull some superstar shiz with me? F him. Well, that's how David is, Butch, I said. I'll go up and see how he's doing. Good luck, he said. I went upstairs, knocked on the door, and David let me in. He seemed in a fine mood. He was, because Mr. Butch, it was your turn. What you think? What you think? Like to me, okay, pause. I'm in a talking mood. Like to me. Ladies, you know how sometimes we be attracted to that rebel rouser in the group? Ooh, you know, he's an animal. I want to control that animal. You know, I've had that male or female, you know what I do. Later on, we realized, wait a minute. Why in the hell did we not think that eventually that rebel rousing would come around to us? It's all fine and dandy as long as the rebel rouser is lunching on everybody else until it get around to us. What you thought? You thought that he wasn't eventually going to lose his mind on you? Girl. When everyone was ready for the Super Bowl show, we started down in the elevator together and waited in the circular driveway. As we were waiting, we saw Whitney Houston about to leave in her limo, looking like a young girl out with her dad and surrounded by her female security guards, all dressed up in what appeared to be men's suits. She came toward Dennis, and out of this cute itty-bitty thing came a voice like a steamroller. "You're the singingest motherfucker I ever heard, baby," she bellowed. "You could turn out a effing place." Dennis looked at me as if to say, damn, isn't she kind of rough? But he just said, "Thanks, Whitney. Are you staying for the game? Hell no. I've got my lover waiting for me back home. So catch this tea. She's not talking about Robin because Robin is on the trip with her. When I read the Robin Crawford book, Robin was like, the reason why she was dressed in a sweatsuit was because she expected for it to be warmer, but it ended up being cooler. And Whitney was like, I'm not fitting to be out here cold, so let me just throw on this little jogging suit. To expound on it, TT just gave us an insight as to what Whitney Houston was really like. Now, we know this now, but back then, Dennis Edwards and TT were already privy to the fact that Whitney Houston is not this gentle lotus flower that Clive Davis tried to present to us. That girl is rough around the edges. Point blank, period. Dennis Edwards, I ain't got time for you. You, little TT. The Super Bowl, whatever number this is, dressing appropriately for this shindig. I thought it was going to be warmer, but it ended up being cooler, so I couldn't wear my Super Bowl dress. Okay? So now it's time for me to go because I got to get back to that Bobby Brown D. Robin, bring your ass on. I'm getting a flight out of this mother hunchy place right after I finished singing the national anthem, and she and her dad got into her limo. The show went according to plan, which was the most anyone could hope for. Later, back at the hotel, I was on my way up to David's room when I saw Butch in the hallway. The motherfucker threw me out again, he said. Butch, baby, why you trust his ass? Why you trust him? Butch, come on, you a resourceful man. I'm sure on one of them floors in that hotel, one of them ladies was selling a vagina. One of them. You couldn't have bought one of them ladies for the night? Get me the F out of here. I'm leaving. I've had it with David. Butch, I'm sure your flight doesn't leave till tomorrow morning. I don't care. I'm leaving now. Butch left to go spend the night at Tampa International Airport. I mean, that could possibly be your best bet, brother. The game was over, and the players had gone home. The TV crews, the reporters, the hordes of football fans, the cheerleaders, the performers, they had all packed up and left. But David Ruffin hadn't gone home. It was a pattern I knew too well. The only difference this time was that I was staying too because I was already home. That afternoon, I had left David sleeping at the hotel and had gone home to wind down from the 5 consecutive days of Super Bowl madness. Around 5 o'clock, my private hotline rang. You have a lot of effing nerve, Tony. You don't ever leave me anywhere with some note, bitch. David had woken up. So we know that Davy Ruffin is still at the hotel. I don't care where you at. I don't care what city, state, parliament, country, county, whatever it is, he's going to pull a stunt. He complained about how he was tired of getting robbed, how Gordy was rumored to have been hooked up with the mafia, how he had ruined careers. Martha Reeves, Mary Wells, Brenda Holloway's, Florence Ballard's, and David's own. The same things I had been hearing for the past 20 years. But I listened because if I didn't listen, he would very sharply remind me that I was on a salary and that my ass was being paid to sit there. So shut the F up. And if I feel like talking about Barry Gordy for 8 hours straight, you're going to listen. He'd fly off the handle, then he'd calm down, and for a while, he would be perfectly coherent. He talked about all the drug treatment programs he'd been to and how he could teach them a thing or two about detox. He said it was just another way the white man had found of ripping off rich black people's money. Nothing but a scam. You can't cure no mother hunchy like me in 30 days, he said. I need to be locked up, but they don't know that. He talked a lot about Tammy Terrell, how he had really loved her and how sorry he was about the way things had turned out. Anyway, he continued, they couldn't have Tammy going solo. You couldn't have another girl getting big hits. What the hell would happen? Diana Ross would no longer be the top dog at Motown, but as long as Tammy was hooked up with Marvin Gaye, it was fine. It was a duo. It was safe. and Diana could be top diva without any competition. I don't even know why people still harbor that resentment towards him, because I mean, the greatest revenge was the laugh that they got when they saw Diana leave his ass for RCA for a $20 million deal at that. Ooh, wonderful. Ooh, the gloat that would be in my eyes for the rest of the years at the Motown. He told me that he had suffered since childhood from mental problems. I knew that David had some problems having nothing to do with drugs. They were the problems of his past. The abuse he had suffered at Motown, abuse he had suffered while he was growing up, Tammy's death, and the blame that he had put on his shoulders. Those things that he so rarely talked about, but that dwelt deep inside of him. There was a part of David that you couldn't reach, yet there was also the part that reached out to you. He spoke of events years and years before. Then he would jump back into the present. He talked about the villa he was hoping to buy and how he was going to straighten up. Then suddenly he said, "I'm going to sleep now. Don't leave and don't wake me." David was still sleeping when I woke the next day. I called Dennis to tell him what was going on and that the hotel manager wanted David out. "Don't get in it," Dennis told me. "Stay out of it. Go down to the manager's office and give him the management company's number. Let them take care of it." I did what Dennis said, waited a couple of hours and called him back. David was still out like a light. Dennis told me that the management company had been contacted. Somebody would be coming down to get David. "How is he?" Dennis asked me. "Bad, and there's plenty of drugs here. Get out of there," he warned. "Don't get mixed up in it." Later, when David had finally gotten up and had something to eat, I told him I have to run up to my house and change my clothes. "I've also got some business to take care of." "All right, but call me in 3 or 4 hours." 3 or 4 hours later, I called David from my house. A man answered. "I'm sorry, Mr. Ruffin is asleep now." I wondered how David had reacted to his arrival. David flew back to Philadelphia, where he disappeared into the bowels of the city for days, missing an engagement as usual. Eddie and David went on and did the show without David. Moving forward, they have this tour to do out there in Europe. Okay, we coming close to the end, you know. I know some of the people or some of the views are falling off because they know it's coming to the end, right? Just like when you watching Coolie High, I swear to God, as soon as I hear the train coming, when Cochise is underneath the train tracks getting his ass beat by Stoney Roberts, I automatically turn it off because I cannot deal with the end of that movie, as iconic as it is. But anyway, it's getting harder and harder for me because we're coming to the end, okay? But anyway, the 3 guys, David, Eddie, and Dennis, are on tour now in Europe. I knew that during Eddie, David, and Dennis's extended tour of Europe, David would once again be on trial with Eddie as a judge and jury. And I also understood from David that if he couldn't hack it this time, he would be out of the group again. Bullshit the Baker man. Eddie know goddamn well that them peoples ain't gonna come out to see just him and Dennis. They want to see the Davy Ruffin. have not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Now remember this, the same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves you, babies. Have a good one. This damn dog, y'all.